He got a call from Kyron. He got a call from Kyron.
Haven't had one of those calls in a while, Mr. Shastri. That's why
I can't believe what the second episode of Run Order during IPL 2022 is. I'm just about getting over the first episode where we were discussing what's gone wrong with CSK. Surely they're not going to make the playoffs. 1 week later, we're going to discuss what's gone wrong with Mumbai. Surely they can't make the playoffs. I cannot believe it. That's where we stand. 4 losses out of 4. The most successful franchise in the IPL's history. And we will discuss whether their auction strategy has been exposed and what on earth has happened to Rohit Sharma and Mahela Jayawardena's side. We have got a power-packed panel. I mean, it's Mumbai Indians, but 3 representatives of Mumbai, pure blood of Mumbai. Ravi Shastri, Sanjay Manjrekar, Wasim Jaffer, Carlos Brathwaite to add perspective, and Gaurav Sundaraman in what's a very fancily done-up Bangalore studio of ESPN Cricket Info. Look at how we are just diversifying now. On a very serious note, Mumbai Indians do not look like the team that they were. Now, clearly we know that bowling's off, Ravi, but has their auction strategy failed and backfired?
It's a combination of both, you can say. Is about the auction, definitely. You know, when you're stuck playing only just 2 overseas players, means you got to be thinking, could you have done better? And when you look at your bowling department and you look at the spin strength there, again, you got to think, could you have gone harder at some of the wrist spinners in the auction? But having said all that, you know, one thing is very simple. We talked about Chennai last week. Same thing applies to Mumbai Indians. Sides are not scared of Chennai and Mumbai anymore. You know, that intimidation or that intimidatory factor that existed does not exist, because after this auction, the spread out is such that they believe any team can beat CSK or MI on a given day.
GS, 8 crore on Archer, 8.25 on Tim David. Break that down for me again and remind me how that auction went for Mumbai.
Yeah, I think it was totally revolving around Ishan Kishan and Jofra Archer. You know, they had planned to keep a lot of money for them. And like you rightly said, Chahal, Khalil, in fact, Warner, Deacock, all these lovely names they couldn't get. And they all went for a pretty less price. We all were pretty surprised after the auction, right? And like right up at the top, you could have had Rohit and Deacock again unite if they'd maybe gone slightly harder and maybe sacrificed a little bit on that Archer, Ishan Kishan strategy. I think trying to just buy back their players was the most important thing. And it's kind of failed pretty badly. Don't forget Rohit Sharma's form as well. He's also not been really scoring those runs over the last few seasons. Pollard's been on and off in every season. So it's just not coming together.
Carlos Brathwaite, World Cup coming up next year. No idea what Jofra Archer is feeling at the moment. How bad is that call looking now? Or do you still think it could be a masterstroke?
it's a masterstroke if all goes well. 4 games in, it doesn't look like that much of a masterstroke, does it? And when you look after the auction, you think, wow, Tamal Mills, Jasprit Bumrah, that's basically 4 overs at the end sewn up, and they just need to find something in the middle. But I think that's been the biggest problem, especially how badly Daniel Sams has gone. They're missing that all-rounder, batting at 6 or 7 and being able to bowl 3 or 4 overs and allow Tamal Mills and Jasprit Bumrah to come into the 4 where they prefer to do, which is coming in the back end, bowling Yorkers and slow balls and closing up the game, forcing teams to get 12, 13 over at the back end.
Wasim, the other thing is just who they picked up even from the Indian options that they had. You've got guys like Khalil and Sakaria and Karthik Tyagi warming benches of other teams. Mumbai had to go to Nadkar, who of course has his question marks in the IPL, and they have to play Basil Thampi. There's literally nobody else there. Did they fail on the Indian front as well?
Ronak, the players that they lost, first of all, I feel they haven't recruited the same quality of the players. I mean, they, like Gaurav said, losing Deacock, they had a chance to get Deacock, spending so much money on Ishan Kishan. And then last year, they had Piyush Chawla on the bench even when Rahul Chahar was playing. They didn't have anybody like that this year. They've got Tim David, they bought for 8.25 crore. And they haven't given him any chance after those couple of games. They've got confidence on Ramandeep Singh. So it just confuses me that, the kind of players they went for, even the uncapped players, apart from Tilak Verma, which was very good signing. I think that shows the quality of their scouting. But other than that, I mean, the names that I've seen, and I'm associated with a lot of domestic players. I know a lot of players because I work with domestic players, and I don't see many quality players in that bench who can turn things around for Mumbai Indians.
So Sanjay, now that you've listened to all of this, and it's not only the bowling looks pretty ordinary, to put it lightly, but their batting seems to not be firing as well. Are Mumbai Indians paying the biggest price of the 10-team IPL? Do you have some sort of sympathy for them, or no, this is a team that tends to get things right and they've messed it up this year?
The big story of Mumbai Indians auction, and I'm not saying this now because we've lost 4 games, even at the end of the auction, I put them right at the bottom on the auction performance, not so much about eventually whether they'll win the title or how well they play, but just on pure auction performance, they were right at the bottom for me. The story with Mumbai Indians in the auction was the kind of people that they let go, guys that they showed fleeting interest in when they should have really gone hard at those players, only because they had committed almost 25 crores to 2 players. And what we're seeing now is something we've seen before as well, Ronak. Mumbai Indians starting off slow, losing 4 or 5 matches. But this time, when you look at the squad, I'm not hopeful that they'll turn the corner and typically, you see that great winning performance that they have in the matches that matter. I don't think they have that kind of ability this time round to make the kinds of recoveries that they've done in the past.
Can you say they've built a team that will be successful next year and the year after, and this year was always going to be hard? Is that a fair argument for you, or do you not think that's even likely at this point, that this is not a team that could even win or challenge for the next 2 years?
No, I don't think so. Because, I just get the feeling that they focused on just 2 or 3 players and just lost the sight of building a team, because they'd let go so many players. The Hardik Pandyas, the Hardik and Krunal had left, Quinton de Kock had gone, the Trent Bolt had gone. So your first challenge really should have been to go after these players, who are available. Now if you have a Rohit Sharma injured in this setup, right? You have a Surya, something happens to Surya, he's had injury problems. Then you're really struggling. Then where are you going to look? That's when the real exposure will take place.
Hardik Pandya. Now, if MI wanted to retain him, it's hard for me to at least believe that they would have not been able to convince him, whether he wanted to be captain elsewhere or not. Did they mess that up? Any volunteers? Mr. Shastri is laughing. Are they thinking right now and saying, damn, should we have done more to keep Hardik in our attentions? Ravi?
I was really surprised because, when you look at Mumbai Indians, the way they've scouted for domestic players in the past, they've done extremely well. Now, these are boys from their stable, the Pandya brothers. Yeah, I mean, no one had heard about them. No one had heard about a Bumrah, Hardik or Krunal. They brought them into the IPL. So I was really surprised, having really seen them grow and reach their peak, that they were allowed to go.
My view is that just a series of events that happened during that time. Hardik didn't bowl for a long time. He didn't have a great season. Just playing him as a pure batter was always a problem in a team balance. And I guess those kind of events which happened leading up to the auction could have messed up with the way they were thinking, and they felt that, hey, if he's not bowling, maybe we don't have to invest so much money. And the thing about Jofra Archer is, again, fitness, right? There's an Ashes coming up next year, so we don't know. And these guys change their action, and it affects the bowlers. We could see that something. I kept the same view on Anik Nokia as well. When fast bowlers come from injuries, you never know how they're going to shape up. So, you could have tried for Archer, but not at that price point, maybe.
Carlos Brathwaite, could that have? I mean, do we need more from Pollard now, or is this just Pollard as usual? Could he have possibly been let go of?
Yeah, I don't think Mumbai wanted to let go of all the stalwarts. I think they're trying to usher in a new era of sorts, talking about how happy they were to retain or to get back Ishan Kishan, Suryakumar Yadav. They seem to think that that's the future of the franchise, and you want Kieron Pollard, you want Rohit Sharma to be a part of that rebuild. So yes, they would want more from Pollard, as he's doing a lot less bowling as well. And he's been asked to do a little bit more or shoulder a little bit more batting responsibility. So yeah, they need more from him.
Okay, the one thing that they need to fix this season, if there is anything, you can also say nothing if you'd like. Wasim Jaffer, one thing Mumbai need to do to still salvage this season.
I think what I see from the last 4 games, I feel Rohit Sharma probably needs to bat at number 3. That's my personal view. Because when he comes at the top of the order, he can't, go at 160, 170 because when you look at the batting coming down, Tilak Verma, Surya Kumar is fine, he's just come in. But anybody, Tim David or Pollard, he'll have no confidence to go really hard in the power play, and you have to go very hard in the power play. But if he comes at number 3, he can pace his innings and bat till 15, 16, or maybe right till the end.
The big boys have to fire. So it's if whatever they're doing, they've got to do it double, like literally. If Bumrah is taking whatever wickets he's taken, he's got to take more. But I think real damage has to be done at the top. I agree with Wasim there totally. Rohit Sharma needs to bat big, real big.
Their batting has the potential. Rohit Sharma has the potential to be 4 times better than he is. Pollard has that kind of potential. Surya already has played, a tremendous inning. So on the batting front, there are 3-4 guys. So if in normal course, in the earlier Mumbai Indians team, if they got 160 and they could protect it, now they need to get 190, 200 to cover up for the bowling weakness.
Carlos?
Play shots. It's almost like you're going into a game as a football team. Your defense is not the best. You're looking to score one more than the opposition as opposed to hold on to 1-0.
I think they shouldn't kind of change the team too much. They should back the players. They've bought Tim David for so much money and they've kind of he's moved away from him pretty early. So just back all these players and see what you can get from them. Maybe it might be even useful for the next 2 years if some of them come good towards the second half of the season.
Oh, that means we're already looking at second half.
Yeah. JS has this great way where he also doesn't realize that he's just thrown a big box. Saying, forget about this, the next 2 years maybe.
He's convinced that MI will get Stark or Stokes in the next auction, and then suddenly we'll have Archer, Bumrah, Stark, Stokes, everybody playing together. Let me go around. Anybody who thinks they can still qualify for the playoffs this year, put your hand up right now. Shastri, Manjrekar, Jaffer, Brathwaite, Sundararaman?
No chance.
Nobody. Okay. No, but Carlos Brathwaite.
I'm going against the grain, Renat.
What's
I'm going
that?
against the grain. You always start badly.
Against the grain. Okay.
Yeah, I'm going against the grain. They always start badly.
He got a call from Kyron. He got a call from Kyron.
Haven't had one of those calls in a while, Mr. Shastri.
It's a big thank you to Ravi Shastri, Sanjay Manjrekar, Wasim Jaffer, Carlos Brathwaite, and Gaurav Sundararaman. Mumbai Indians, it looks like they're already looking at next season to try and see if this squad can work. But Carlos Brathwaite thinks otherwise.